Merry meet and welcome to the daily reading for all signs. Excuse me. Today is the 29th of January 2025. This is Ariel, and today I'm reading with the Tarot of the Master, and I'm going to purify with some Florida water. I have some in a little spray bottle here, so 3 sprays in this big room is sufficient. You can find links to purchase these products right in the video description of this video here on my YouTube channel. We are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating today on YouTube are the lovely Diane and the lovely Jennifer. Thank you so much. Everybody's on YouTube, Ariel. Good morning. This reading goes out to a lot of people, so if for some reason it doesn't seem like it applies to you, just disregard it because it's probably not meant for you. In that case, check out the Zodiacal readings for your sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. You can find the most recent of all the tarot readings right on our website, arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. Just click on the free online tarot readings link in that main menu. I don't read with card reversals, that's why I flip cards right side up. How I like to read, all is well, I promise. If you'd like to donate to this channel, you can do that by going to paypal.me/arielgatoga. paypal.me/arielgatoga. We do appreciate your support, and we appreciate you for being here for this daily reading. We are here Wednesday through Sunday. Got just a little bit more shuffling to do, and we'll get right to your reading. Thanks for your patience, but we gotta have a shuffled deck. Otherwise, it's not going to be accurate. Randomization is the key to a good tarot reading. I'm not a psychic, by the way. I don't predict the future. I just look at the trends that are outlined in the cards and tell you what I see, but the future is always changeable. Let's see what's in the cards for everybody today. Starting out with the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Moon card. Okay, this is a nice reading. The Moon card is sometimes seen as a bit negative. It doesn't really, I don't see it that way at all. It can be, but anything can be if you take it the wrong way. This is more about, the Moon card is more about recognizing that your habitual thought patterns have a lot to do with your perceptions and also your manifestations. And this is not a super typical image, but this crawfish is usually in a pool trying to get out onto dry land, and that represents persistent habitual thoughts and beliefs that tend to want to manifest into reality, or at least manifest as perceptions of reality on your part. So being aware that that's the case, it's possible to rethink things and to recognize that a lot of what we are experiencing in our lives are based on deep held belief and thought patterns, and that we can gently and over time redo some of the patterns of our thinking. And a lot of the power that you have to do that is by noticing what's in your conscious mind, because the conscious mind is the planter of the seeds. You know, so that by the time it's in your deep mind, the deep mind doesn't make choices, it doesn't make decisions, it just goes with what it believes. And so it's up to us to notice what we're doing with our minds. And as you can learn how to focus your mind and not let your mind wander so much, especially ruminating about negative things and things that you don't want, you're going to really support yourself in having much kinder, more healthy manifestations and perceptions in your life. Having said that, it's just important to think that way, because the reason why in this particular reading that's important is not because you have to worry about something that you need to undo. It's that you don't want to undo all the good that you've done. That's all. You don't want to let your habitual thought patterns run amok and undo all this good that you've been doing, because it says you've been working really hard on yourself. and really doing very, very well. And you want to continue doing very well. Now, this Ace of Cups is a card of prosperity, but it's not necessarily only financial prosperity, although that is included if needed. It's whatever is good, whatever means good for you. It's good health. It's good. It's inner peace. It's self-expression. It's happiness and joy, and that's what's available to you. It may not be all perfect. I mean, I understand that it may not be all perfect, but you're doing well. You're doing very well, and just be aware of the beliefs that come up when you're doing well in certain areas. It's either the beliefs frequently are going to try to negate how well you're doing. Oh, you're not doing so well. Big deal. Or, well, you don't want to go too high. You don't want to you do too well, because then the fall will be harder. All that goes up must come down, kind of thing. And so you don't want to ride too high, because then the fall will be too intense. And so that's a lot of these old belief patterns want to just sort of minimize all of the good that you're doing in whatever way they can, and try to get you to stop that. Those belief patterns are part of what what we all call the ego mind. And that's that part of the mind that is all about destroying yourself and feeling separate from yourself and from other people. So that's why it's important to recognize those thoughts that negate your good as they come up, because you don't want to just leave them unchecked, because too much of that creates a groove in your mind. And then that groove, has to be undone, which is a lot more, involved than just avoiding the groove to begin with. Okay, we've got a 6 of Swords. It seems like you've been undoing some grooves pretty well, really, really well. Oh, a 9 of Coins, very nice. And then what is this, 10 of Coins? Yeah, you are doing so well. And see, this is the warning that of this Moon card is, if you're doing well, that doesn't mean that you stop minding your mind. You really get vigilant about minding your mind when you're doing well, because the ego wants to sabotage, and you're not unique in that. It's pretty universal in this world. Until we get over this thought system of separation that we all seem to have succumbed to, until we completely get over that and recognize that it's not there at all, and we don't support it in ourselves and others, that's not happening right now on the earth. Until we get there, we have to recognize that it's there. We have to just know that self-sabotage is there, and it can't hurt you, because you're not letting it. You're not letting it, because remember, it's thought patterns, it's habits. That's what the ego is. It's habits of thinking. It's not a force outside of you. It's not some sort of entity that you have to fight against. It's that you have to reorient yourself and recognize when those destructive thought patterns come up. It's often because you're doing well. It's often because you're doing well, and that those things are programmed to destroy. And you know what? Big deal. Ultimately, if you're minding your mind and you're noticing those thought patterns, you're not going to let them destroy your happiness. But if you're just going la 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 about your day and not noticing what your mind is doing, it's really busy, and you don't want to undo all this good that you've done. Now, enough of that, because I want to talk about the good, because there's a lot of it. It's 5 great cards and one not bad card, but card that is just giving you a warning, right? So we've got this Queen of Cups. This is all the inner work that you've been doing. And part of that inner work is turning around inner conflict and external conflict, problems that have been resolved or are in the process of being resolved. The reason why? You don't give that power away. You don't give that credit away right now. It's important for you to understand that, yes, the universe is there. The universe is helping you, that there might be people helping you. Of course, you want to acknowledge them, but none of that would be happening if you hadn't decided to work on yourself. So you deserve the kudos here. Now, as a result of undoing all that conflict, like I said, there's great prosperity happening. And part of that prosperity wants to be financial. And when the money comes in, or health, this can be health, whatever the coins mean for you, but when, I'm going to call it money for now, when the money comes in, or as the money comes in, it's important for you to recognize that the ego mind wants to put it in the past as an event. Oh, great, you got some cash. Good for you. Isn't that neat that that happened? Notice what it did? That happened. Instead of, this is your new normal. This is because of all of the inner work that you've been doing. It's because of, it's because of you that this is happening. And so, yay, and this is your happily ever after. Let's stay with it. This is your financial happily ever after. Let's stay in the moment and let this be a perpetual new normal for you. But that's not what the ego wants to do. It'll make you think that it's on your side and say, yay, good for you that happened. That little subtlety, that little thing that it does to put it in the past tense. And then we just go, yeah, you're right. Isn't that great that happened? And then we're kind of done with it. It becomes not a way of being, but an event, which is a nice event. But then we go back to square one. And we don't realize what we just did. We just gave away all of our present moment by doing that. But if you instead just say, well, yes, it did happen, but it's happening because it's the new normal. It's how I am now. I am a prosperous being. I'm meant to be prosperous. I was born to prosper. I was born to win. That's my soul's natural state of being. And so if I can keep aligning with my soul, keep doing this wonderful work that I'm doing on myself, that's just the way it is. It's the way it's always supposed to have been. I just didn't have the understanding of that before, but I do now. So that's the way that you respond to isn't that nice that happened, when the ego gives that to you, when the ego wants to put this into linear time. You have to reclaim, this is not about time. This is not about time. This is about me. And this prosperity is eternal. This prosperity is eternal in whatever form it takes. It's eternal because I am a prosperous being. It's my nature to prosper. I was born to prosper. It is my natural state of being to be in perpetual prosperity. And that's just how it is. And as you keep reframing it and retuning that and not letting the ego be too sly with you, then you recognize that that's true, and it just does become a new normal for you. It becomes a part of the fabric of your being. And just like you don't notice it, you don't really notice it anymore, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, because if you're always saying, oh, I need money, that means you're not prosperous. But if you stop, if you've noticed that that's not a thing anymore for you, that's good. That's a wonderful thing. So as that happens, allow yourself to just be prosperity rather than have prosperity. All right, you're doing great. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I so appreciate you. And thank you very much to the amazing moderators. Today we had the lovely Diane and the lovely Jennifer. Thank you so much, moderators. We'll see everybody for another daily reading tomorrow. Until then, blessed be.